Well, hello team. Once again, a very warm welcome to the special webinar. I'll be your financial analyst for today's session. My name is Akash Malhotra team and I'm welcome you behalf from OLYMP TRADE family. We were basically, the market has been like going amazingly well. I have seen the market. Now you can see this biggest candle formation so far. There are a lot of things happening in the market right now. We'll be talking about them in our special webinar. Apart from this, I'll be telling you one of the simplest trading strategy which we usually do in every webinar. And so I'm very excited for today's webinar especially. So again, a very warm welcome to you all. For today, we'll be learning about a very simple trading strategy, but at the same time, I'll give you a little tips for today as well as for the upcoming week so that you can get updated regarding the financial news which will be happening very soon and how we'll be able to take trades on the different parameters. Dear team, I would love to read your live comments. I'll be reading your comments, I'll be checking them out. If you have any difficulty about anything at all, please let me know. For today's webinar, I was thinking let's try a very simplest form of strategy which Olymptrade Trade has created amongst our advanced and expert status clients. So the clients who do not have access to advanced and expert status, I'll be telling you how to create this trading strategy manually as well. So there is nothing to worry about anything at all. Dear team, I really am tried everything from my end to help you out in every possible circumstances. My main objective is to help my client understand financial market to the best possible way. Let's try to understand market first. Right now, if you see a biggest candle formation team, it's because of non-farm payroll. Recently, the non-farm payroll has been released, which is one of the biggest data if you try to understand market from the financial analyst point of view. Now, this day there are total number of 6 major indicators. These are so. If you do not have any idea prior to this, so there are specifically two kinds of indicator that we see in the financial market. First one is the leading indicator and the second one is the lagging indicator. Now the list of indicators that you have in OLYMP trade or oscillators that you use are lagging indicators. These lagging indicators define themselves out. If you use any SMA, EMA, so these indicators specifically works by averaging out last candles and the mathematical formula involved in it calculating specifically this. But after that, we have leading indicators. Now in leading indicators we have bunch of indicators available, but there are majorly 6 indicators on priority. So the first one is GDP, second one we call it as non-farm payroll, which is one of the major data impact US market. It not only hampers the performance of USD, but it also hampers the performance of all the assets. Now if you will see, if you watch the candle specifically for 30 minutes duration, you can see a big red candle formation up here. Now we know that the price of gold works exactly opposite to the variation in USD, and that's why you will see one of the biggest impulse candle in gold. This majorly helps us to take a trade in that specific direction. I was actually planning to trade on this one, so I did take a trade on this one, but I was doing just scalping part here. You can see we made a good amount of profit on gold. I have another sub account on which I have taken trades on NFP. Again, I was scalping in that very specific period. Now if you look at these trades, these are all the scalping which I have done on non-farm payroll. Now when we discussed about non-farm payroll, not only one indicator hampers the performance. When we specifically check non-farm payroll, unemployment role also plays a very crucial role in that. Non-farm payroll was worse than expected, and this was the very first time it crossed this level after a complete year, if I can say that. So non-farm payroll turned out to be negative. However, the unemployment rate turns out to be positive. This was a good sign for a country's economy. However, due to this non-farm payroll, which turned out to be around 187,000, the projected was like around 200,000. It failed to reach that, and that's just because of that you can see the biggest red candle formation on USD JPY. I think our trade has been closed just because of this huge impulse in the market. Okay, anyways, we'll try to recover this amount. After this, you can see the variation in the gold, as I told you, is inversely proportional to the price fluctuation in USD. It is exactly similar the situation with Bitcoin. Now if you will see, the price of Bitcoin will be keep on increasing. It should be on a green candle if I'm not mistaken. Yep, it's a green candle team. These different forms of combinations that we use in to make profit in the financial market are basically based on this analogy. I'll tell you how to make predictions on different assets at the same time, but be very careful. This NFP seems to be one of the data. Now the market seems to be very volatile now, so be very careful while taking trades on the data. And yeah, before moving ahead, team, there are certain things that I want to let you know, that I want to inform you that trading in financial market involves a high risk and may lead to partial or complete loss of invested funds. I also inform you that all action performed by me on my trading account are based on my experience, and repeating these action you act at your own discretion. Okay, let's move ahead. Now for today, let's try to discuss one of the simplest trading strategy that we have as an advanced and expert status client. You probably also will be having that too. You can go to this A symbol, which is a technical analysis symbol. Head out to the strategy part, and in strategy segment you will be able to see the strategy. The name of the strategy is AXEL strategy. Click on here, press on enable strategy option, and the strategy will be applied automatically. Now seems the market seems to be little volatile now. We still will be able to take few trades in our live account, but be very careful right now because the market seems to be very volatile. And yeah, we need to understand market to the best possible way from our end. Okay, so let's try to open few more trades here. Okay, now the AXEL strategy is been based on momentum oscillator. If you know momentum oscillator works on two different periods. Period 14 and the second period is set at period 9. These two different indicators are used, or what we can say as oscillators as well, are used specifically to find out price reversal in the graph. Now this has been very widely used by all the major financial analysts right now. How this one works is been basically where if you will see this specific line here, the golden line here, this golden line usually fluctuates between these two regions. So if you'll watch it very closely, the 100 line is act as a, what we can say that a support or resistance line. So if you'll see this line specifically, if it is crosses this 100 line, that means the trend reversal pattern we can observe in this situation. And if it is crossing this 100 line from bottom to top, there will be an opportunity to open up a trade in upward direction based on this. Momentum oscillator, a lot of people probably know it. This is again a lagging oscillator. The line moves and periodically crosses 100 level, if you can see this here. Momentum is very useful indicator of the strength or weakness of the price, specifically when the markets are rising or falling. So this is a very quick introduction which we have given regarding this. Momentum oscillators, we will be able to understand this, and we will be able to just take trades on this one as well. So if you'll see this blue line here, this is momentum for the period of 14, right? So here whenever this blue line crosses this specific line from top to bottom or bottom to top, there will be a trading opportunity for us. Now if you watch it very closely, team, if the candle formation are very close to each other, and if you'll see these blue lines are been very close to this proximity of each other, so you have to be very careful during this period, because it also shows us variation in the markets are sideways trend, and there is a possibility that a weak signal can take our entire trade. Dear team, if you have any question, you can basically write every question of yours in the chat window as well. Okay, so there is a slim probability for the trade. Okay, let's try to analyze it first. The blue line is about to cross this yellow line. What we are waiting for, it should be crossing from top to bottom. Let's take a trade here. When this blue line crosses yellow line from top to bottom in the momentum oscillator, there will be a signal. That means there is a probability for trend to reverse. Now, from my trading point of view, what I usually do is I try to observe the graph for 5 minutes duration and try to take advantage of the situation by taking trades for 10 to 15 minutes duration. What you can see here is the biggest candle formation because of the non-farm payroll, which was released exactly around 6 for today. Let's try to switch between assets and try to find a good signal for ourselves. Okay, so the trend is about to reverse, but the line hasn't crossed each other yet, so that's not a good signal to trade on. Let's try to switch between assets once again. Okay, if you'll see, this momentum oscillator has been very falling sharply into the downward direction. Since we are watching the graph for 5 minutes duration, we are actually waiting for the recovery to happen. There is no confirmation yet. Let's watch the graph for a minute for a reversal. Okay, there is a slim chances for this. What I'm doing right now is I have increased my expiration time. Let me just go ahead with like around $80 or something, since there is a very high probability for market to recover. We'll give it like around, let's go watch for 10 minutes duration. Yeah, there is a possibility for market to recover. So let's take a trade on this one. Since this line are not crossing each other, what we are doing in these circumstances is try to take the recovery trade, whatever happened in the financial market here, due to non-farm payroll. Now be very careful. Right now the market seems to be very volatile now. Okay, just be very careful while taking a trade on this strategy. Okay, I think our graph has been struck now. Let's reload the page once again. It's still loading. Okay, finally it's done. Okay, so if you watch this line is crossing this 100 line. That means it's an upward trend position. Let's watch it for 1 minute duration, whether it is confirmed our probability of trade or not. Not yet. Let's again watch it for 5 minutes duration for the double confirmation here. Nope. So there are couple of ways to take trades on this strategy. The first one is this yellow line. If it crosses this 100 line from bottom to top, there will be an opportunity for us to take trade in upward direction. This is a sign for the trend reversal. The second one is when this blue line crosses this yellow line from top to bottom, there will be an opportunity to open up a trade in downward direction. And if it is crossing from bottom to top, we will have an opportunity to place a trade in upward direction. Let's try to switch between assets now. They are very close to each other. This doesn't seem to be a very good signal. Let's try to switch between assets, team. No signal here. Let's skip it. Again, if you will see, this biggest candle formation is because of non-farm payroll. Now non-farm payroll will be there again if you'll see, for 25 to 30 minutes much more. The impact was great, and it will take some time for the impact to wave off right now. That's why you will see for 30 minutes duration there will be some candle formation in which there will be a little tail in here, which shows rejection in the candle. That means trend is about to reverse here. Okay, so let's switch again to 1 minute duration. We'll try to take trades for 1 minute duration and 3 minutes expiration time, and then after that we'll try switching time duration. Remember this, whenever you have a non-profitable trade, first you start with a very small amount, then we will start increasing the amount according to the martingale approach. If you are very well aware about this, you know on martingale approach we try to increase amount. Be very careful. If you have 3 back-to-back non-profitable trades, it's better to take break during the time. Market seems to be volatile. Let's try to take trade for like around 4 minutes duration. 1 minute graph, we are taking trades for 4 minutes duration now. Since the line hasn't crossed yet, that's why we are given an extra minute for the line to cross each other. Let's again try to change our assets. No signal in here, they are not crossing yet. We had an option of trading here. Okay, let's do. A very good entry could have been on the very first candle itself, on the second candle itself, on the red candle. As soon as you find out signals, okay teams, you can also let me know whether there is a trading idea or not. Let's switch between the asset. Okay, so there is a very good opportunity in upward trade. One minute's duration, 3 minutes expiration time. I usually suggest all my clients to go ahead with 1:2/3 formation. That means if you are watching the graph for a minute, your expiration time should be double or triple of it. That means if you are watching the graph for 5 minutes duration, the expiration time should be 10 to 15 minutes. 10 to 15 minutes. But we never really stick to the specific time duration which is being shown there, because if you found a very good signal and in that specific moment, either you can increase the time duration or decrease the time duration accordingly. It also depends upon the candles, which candlestick formation has been forming at that very specific level. Let's again try to switch between assets. Okay, so this is not a very good signal to trade on. Euro CAD continuously following upward pattern. Okay, this is not a very good idea to trade. Dear team, if you see a lot of fluctuation in the market, it's just because of non-farm payroll. So for the people who have joined recently our stream, I want to tell you that the trading strategy that we are using for now is AXEL trading strategy. This trading strategy, if this trading strategy is not available to you at all, you can apply it manually, team. You can clear this one out. Go to this A symbol or technical analysis symbol. Either you can type it in momentum indicator, right, oscillator, or you can go to this oscillator section, apply momentum oscillator here, and we are good to go now. This is the same strategy that you can see in the strategy section. This strategy highly based on different combinations. However, here is the easiest one. It's the momentum oscillator that we are using now. In momentum oscillator, if this blue line crosses this yellow line from top to bottom, that means there is a probability for the trend to reverse. There is a probability for trend to reverse. If it is crossing from bottom to top, that means there is a probability for the market to rise from that price level. This strategy uses two different period averages to calculate this out. So if you will see, this one is crossing from top to bottom, however there is a green candle formation, so we'll wait for it. We'll wait for the signal to appear. Okay, so there is a downward trade we'll be taking here. So I guess 1, 2, 3 trades were profitable for us. Commodity composite index seems to be profitable. It's been very close now. We'll see how the market reacts on this one. Let's try to switch between assets once again, team. So there is a slim possibility of signal here, but we need to be very skeptical because this is just because of the market volatility. Okay, let's just go ahead. Okay, so we have some risk-free trades available. Let's just open up a trade with this one. Switch the graph to 5 minutes duration. And yeah, and team, you have to prepare yourself for the next week. In next week, we will have great opportunities starting from Thursday and Friday. On Thursday, we will have one of the biggest data release out. That's an inflation data. Consumer price index. This data specifically determines whether the Fed will be increasing their interest rate or not. In the last CPI, if I'm not mistaken, there was a very good candle formation which was red, because all the data of the CPI usually have 4 data available with each other. Okay, so if you want, I can show you here as well in economic calendar. Guys, if you do not know economic calendar, how to read economic calendar, please let me know. I'll be having a special session on this one. We'll have a special YouTube webinar on this one. So if you watch it very closely, on Thursday itself, on 10th, we will have consumer price index data release out. In last CPI, as far as I remember, it was on 12th. Yeah. Can you see this? All this data turns out to be red. So YOY means year to year data. MOM means month on month basis data. If all this data turns out to be red, that means there would be a biggest candle formation. The trend continuation pattern usually forms when all these data turns out to be equal. Either all the data turns out to be green or red, and based on that, there would be a huge candle spike you can see, especially on the currency pairs associated with USD. So CPI data will be releasing it out on 10th of August. And at the same time, on 11th, we will have producer price index data. So in price index category, as I told you, NFP is one of the biggest data when we usually consider the different circumstances. The second most important category is price indices category. In price indices category, it has been subdivided into 3 segments. The first one is CPI, second one is PPI, and third one is purchasing manager index data. These 3 data are very lucrative in their own term. And yeah, you can make a lot of money following these trading advices. Even if you try to take trades in FTT or Forex, a balanced set of multiply is something which I recommend to all my clients. The strategy that we are using now is, again, AXEL's trading strategy. And there is only one oscillator which has been used here, is momentum oscillator. Let's try to switch between different pairs right now to find a very, okay, so there is a good signal here. Let's go ahead with 12 minutes expiration time. Since they haven't crossed each other yet, so that's why we are increasing expiration time in here. Okay, although they are crossing each other, but that's not a very good indication. These lines are very close to each other, so that's not a very good signal here. There is a slim probability for the trade, but since this is NFP data, we cannot be very sure because the market momentum is a very strong bullish for Euro USD. You see? So if the recovery happens, if the tail formation is there, that means it is rejecting for some period of time. However, the market momentum seems to be a very strong bullish sentiments on this one. If you want, we can also try to take a risk on this one, on a risk-free trade, but that shouldn't be worth it. Okay, let's do it. We reduce the time frame for 5 minutes duration for this one. Okay, if you'll see, the same repetitive pattern will be formed on different currency pairs. On Euro USD, the same signal has been showing us. On Euro USD, the same signal has been showing us, because there is one factor which is relative to both of them is USD, and that's why you will see an equal formation of candle in both the situation. This is what we call it as positive correlation. Both of the USD are on the quoted price, and that's why we can see the similar candle behavior in these circumstances. Right now currency pair seems to be very risky to trade. They're not giving us the proper signal here. Okay, so momentum oscillator, I think, which has been removed automatically. Let me just apply it. So crossover from top to bottom. Let's go ahead with 6 minutes duration. Bottom trade. Let's try to switch between assets team, and we'll see how the market react on this one. See, as I told you, we have used it our risk-free trade in this situation, because the market seems to be very volatile and it's recovering once again. It's a very strong trend. Okay, on composite index, we could have a very good opportunity exactly at this price level. Okay, now for those people who usually love to trade in forex, watch very closely. The price of Asia Composite Index is 5918. It's very close price level, and this is a very good price level. In fact, starting from this price level, there are very likelihood of the chances for this asset to recover, but it will take some period of time. Now, since it is following a very strong downtrend, you wait for this asset to form a strong downtrend, and once there is a sideways trend recovery happens, or if you find out a very good level of support or resistance here, you take a trade in upward direction with moderate set of multiplier. Okay, let's switch to our strategy once again, team. We had a signal on this one, not right now. Okay, let's skip the asset. Let's do one thing. We'll try to do short-term duration trades on here. 1 minute duration, and we'll go ahead with 3 minutes expiration time. Okay, for gold, it was showing a signal for 5 minutes duration. Okay, let's again switch to 1 minute duration. The trade is very close. Do we have a signal here? Not likely. We had a signal on this second candle, but since it is a red candle formation right now, we cannot rely on this signal. Let's skip this one. These two lines are very close to each other, although it seems like a signal. Okay, let's, if you want, I can just take a trade with the smaller amount, since we are taking just a trade with $5. It's just marginal amount for us. But be very careful. If these lines are very close to each other, then there is a possibility of no volatility at the market, and just because of this, the trade can go for a non-profitable. Okay, all right, let's change the asset once again. There is a very good probability for the trade to be profitable one. If this blue line once again crosses this yellow line from bottom to top, we can take a trade in upward direction. If this any line crosses this, that means blue lines, if it is crossing the yellow line from bottom to top, we will be taking a trade in downward direction for sure. Okay, so no signal in here. Let's try to change it once again. Okay, so for the Asia Composite Index, our trade seems to be on the positive side. Let's wait for some more assets. Dear team, it might look like a very good signal to you, but it isn't. If you'll find out this pattern formation, it's a very strong uptrend candle. So there are possibility that first or second candle can be a red one on this one, but we cannot be very sure about this signal. That's why we'll be switching to different currency pairs to find out a good opportunity. Okay, so there is an opportunity here. Since we are watching the graph for 5 minutes duration, let's go ahead with 7 minutes duration trade for upward direction. Let's watch the confirmation for a minute duration. Right, it's a good opportunity. Again, there is a possibility for a signal here. Let's cross confirm it by watching it for a minute duration as well. Let's reduce the amount. Let's watch it very closely now. We do not have signal yet. We are waiting for the next candle to appear right now. Okay. So a similar pattern, if you will see, the continuous downtrend is happening to be here. Let's go ahead with 6 minutes duration expiration time in upward direction. Dear team, how you feel about this strategy? Now, what are the different strategies that you wish to know? As an expert status client, you will have access to all the trading strategies available in OLYMP TRADE. Majority of the trading strategy. Some of the trading strategy are there, but like these trading strategy are being used by majority of the client, and they have gained a very considerable. They are very good in that. So in terms of analyzing the market, what I want you to do is to first test every trading strategy by choosing a different time frame. Try to analyze the market and see where on what area this trading strategy seems active to you. I usually have 3 trading sessions for myself. According to the Indian Standard Time, I usually go ahead in the morning time where the market seems to be moderately volatile. It's not that much active, but it's not something where there is a very big candle formation happens. On the moderate volatility side, we still can see and get a very good profitable returns on some assets as well. Okay, out of we just had 7 profitable trade, 2 of them looks on the positive side. Okay, so Astro index seems to be recovering. Let's just watch it for a minute duration once again. Okay, remember this no trading strategy can be 100% accurate. What our objective is to catch the signal using different set of indicators to increase our probability of profitable trade. It's not something which is very difficult in the financial market. Majority of the analysts try to rely on different indicators just to gain positive results for themselves. Since we are taking trades on the short-term duration, we have to be very careful how to take trades using different trading strategy. Make sure you spend enough time on the strategy itself to analyze it that effectively well. Okay, so 2 of them again seems to be on the positive side. Okay, now the third one comes on the positive side. So Astro index is again recovering, I guess. It's a very close call for this one. Okay, let's wait for the expiration time to close. There is a slim possibility, but again, as I told you, there is a very strong upward trend right now. Even if this line is crossing each other, this doesn't really a very good signal to take a trade on this one. We'll be observing this for a minute duration once again. It's a very strong trend. I would suggest you to be very careful while taking trades on assets like this. Okay, so no signal here once again, team. Okay, so Mahajantar index seems to be working for us. I believe expert status clients have a lot of privileges, like you can get a 90% rate of return on some of the assets. So you can use it for your benefit as well. In the strategy section, you can see a lot of trading strategies available. Some of the strategies are my custom strategies. I'm also working on my some personal trading strategy. I'll be publishing them. So there is an option in OLYMP TRADE which you can see to publish your trading strategy. You can do it from here. My favorite one, or guys, which is your favorite trading strategy which you mostly rely on? Is it something that your expiration time for 1 minute duration? I have seen majority of the clients use barcode strategy, which is a very good strategy indeed for a shorter duration. I would, however, suggest you to go for a little higher time duration where we can maximize our chances of profitable trade. Let's again try to switch between assets. So it's again a very strong down uptrend for gold. That means the price of USD must be decreasing. Let's just confirm it once again on USD JPY. Yeah, it's a very strong downtrend. If you'll see exactly right now, Nasdaq index, it's rising. So fall in the price of USD, the prices of Nasdaq increases exactly opposite to the variation. For today, Apple will be releasing, I guess they already have released their earning report. And if you will see the pre-market froze Apple AAPL is trending in downward direction. Okay. That means the company hasn't performed that effectively well yet for this quarter. We can maximize our situation here. Let's try to open up a trade in Apple. With 20 multiplier. We'll try to do scalping in here. Asia Composite Index, okay. Mooch Index is also seems to be working. Oh, I guess this was a very close call for this Mahajantar Index. Yeah. So market protection enabled, and because of this, the amount was returned back to us. Okay, not an issue. We still have our amount to take trades on this one. Let's try to switch between assets once again. So team, let me tell you once again, the name of the strategy is AXEL trading strategy, where the momentum indicator is being used specifically under different circumstances. Now what you will see exactly in this trading strategy is blue line and yellow line. When this blue line crosses this yellow line from top to bottom, there is a very good opportunity for us to open up a trade in downward direction. And inversely, if these two lines crosses from bottom to top, you will see there is an uptrend formation here. On commodity composite index, the signal seems to be there. However, I'm not very sure about this signal because the candle formation is doji. We'll need to just confirm it on 1 minute duration. Okay, this is not a very good signal to take trade on. We'll skip it. How were our trades? Okay, so they seem to be profitable. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Some of the risky trades. So these trades were taken when the market seems to be very volatile during NFP time. So for the first half an hour, the market seems to be very volatile. Right now, we are taking trades on index so that our probability of profitable trades can be increased. Okay, so let's watch the candle for this one. There is no good signal at all. No signal in here, team. Let's try to switch between assets once again. Okay, so there is a good signal. Let's open up a downtrend. If the blue line crossing this yellow line from top to bottom, we have an opportunity to open up a trade in downward direction. And that's what we did. Let's change the asset to another one. This is a very close call. Just cost confirm it for a 1 minute duration. So there are chances. Let's just confirm it from 5 minutes duration once again. Top to bottom crossover, downward trade. No signal in here, team. We'll try to skip once again. So either here you are seeing this momentum line crossing this yellow line from top to bottom. Although it may seem a good opportunity, but what can you observe here is a green candle formation. It's not a very good trend. We're likely to skip it. Do we have a signal in here? Okay, so there was a good opportunity here. We're still a little late. Let's skip it. Okay, so top to bottom crossover, not really sure. That's why we'll be reducing. Let's use risk-free trade on this one for 2 minutes duration. Yeah, this could have been a good signal if we have taken a trade on this candle itself. So I believe team, you are enjoying today's special webinar. For next week, I have prepared some sheets for you. There was this one thing that I wanted to share with you, but unfortunately I do not have access to it specifically to share with you. I have created a special Excel sheet which can help you to determine in which direction there is a high probability during non-farm payroll and as well as during CPI. How we will be able to make profit during these circumstances using different set of combinations of, I guess, the multiplier 100 and 200 multiplier. It's very easy to make profit, and even those scalp during the time as well. So make sure you join next special webinar. We'll be talking about consumer price index, and I'll be sharing this special Excel sheet with you. In case you want to check it, you can cross verify it, and again you can take the screenshot if you want to. I'm just preparing it, and one of the file I do not have access to it. I'll be sharing it with you in the next week itself. It was lovely meeting you all. Thank you very much for joining this special webinar. I hope you enjoyed today's special webinar as much I did. Thank you very much for being with me. I wish you all the best and a very happy weekend. Have a profitable session, and good evening to you. Bye bye.